Welcome back to Master Asian Core. If you are in your process, if you are trying to figure out how to start Scrum, how to start sprinting, and you don't know what is needed or what are the steps to get to your first sprints, well, you're in luck because today we are going to talk about that. And I'm going to give you the steps that you need to start your first sprint. Here are 3 things that you need to concentrate on to jumpstart your first sprint. So step number 1 is knowledge acquisition. So what is knowledge acquisition? It means that your team members or individuals that is working on Scrum needs to understand what Scrum is. They need to understand the basics of Agile. They need to understand Scrum. So send them to a training. Either watch a video, read a book, whatever that may be. But you should equip your team members on what Scrum is about. Number 2, identifying your team. Size does matter in this instance. How big is your team? You don't want it to be too big. Ideally, somewhere between 7 plus minus 2. Now, from my experience, around 5 team members will be about ideal. Now, who is on this team? What does 5 people means? So usually 5 people means I usually don't count the product owner and Scrum Master. If you include those 2, then it'll be 7, of course. Whatever size that works for you. You don't want to be too big. You want to be just enough. I think the right size is about, they call it 2 pizza size, right? So also identifying the role. Who is going to be a Scrum Master? Who is a product owner? Making sure that the Scrum Master and the product owner understand what their role is, how they're going to do those things, how they're going to do their role. And this may sound really basic. Have a team name. Once you have a team name, people tend to identify. You need some identity to be able to identify as one. So have a team name. Have it fun. Make it simple. Okay? Have a team name. And it's amazing how when you have a name, people corral around those things. Not just have a name, but ensure that your team understands what it means to work as a team. Come up with a team values. Have a common understanding of quality means. Have a team norm. Team norm is basic behaviors, actions, whatever it may be to work as a team. Now, there are a lot of examples of team norms that's out on the internet. Do a quick Google search and you'll find them. How do we communicate as a team? What tools do we use? WebEx? Zoom? Whiteboard? How do we track work? How do we collaborate? It could be as simple as whiteboard and sticky notes. What is acceptable behavior? How do we ensure that we don't have conflict? How do we have healthy conflict? Have those conversations. Come together as a team and talk about it. Agile is about people and interactions. So we need that. We need to work as a team. You're going to run Scrum. What is the cadence that you're going to have for your sprint? When are you going to have your sprint planning? When are you doing a daily stand-up? Where are you doing this daily stand-up? How are you doing your daily stand-up? When are you doing your sprint review? When are you going to do your retrospective? Have all that. Talk about all that and have it in a single location. That is how you behave as a team. What are the things that you need to behave as a team? Since you're working as a team, you need to have a common understanding of what definition of done means. You need to know when work is complete. So it's important that you have a definition of done. Making sure everybody understands what definition of done means. If you're going to do definition of ready, what is that? Talk about that. Have the conversation. Have those information available to your team. If you have your knowledge of Scrum and you have a team and you've built your team already, well then the next step you have to do is making sure you have a backlog, a prioritized backlog. So the product owner, first thing that he or she needs to do is actually create user stories. Create this backlog. So you need time before your first sprint to do that. It may be 2 weeks before, it may be 3 weeks before, but take the time to do that. Not only is your product owner going to create user stories, but you have to do a backlog refinement with your team. So they understand the size, they understand what is needed for them to do the work. Have that done before your first sprint. Ideally, you will want to have maybe 2 or 3 sessions of backlog refinement and have enough items for about 1 sprint. You don't know, and that's okay, but do as many as you can Don't do all of it. Do just enough. Just enough. As a team, you can figure out, you know what, as a team, we think we need 4 or 5 stories ready for our first sprint. Have that ready. Okay? Go through the backlog refinement and do that. So once you have those 3 things, go ahead and start your first sprint. You know your cadence, you've stories in the backlog ready. Go ahead and run your first sprint. The art of all this is in doing. Okay? So you have to do, and then you inspect and adapt. So do it. So jump, start ahead, and do it. Do the first 3 things that I talked about, and then do your first sprint. And that's it, folks. Bye.